Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Tom. Today, I want to discuss how you can improve your English speaking skills by using fewer words. At first, this might sound unusual or counterintuitive. Many learners believe that speaking good English means employing big, complex words. They think that to speak well, they need to use difficult vocabulary and sound sophisticated. They assume that sounding advanced equates to sounding complicated. However, in real-life conversations, native speakers rarely speak like that. Instead, they prefer to keep things simple. They use straightforward words, short sentences, and repeat common verbs often. Their goal isn't to sound clever or impressive, it's to be understood clearly. Clarity is actually the true hallmark of fluency. A common mistake learners make is trying to replace simple words with more advanced or formal ones, such as saying utilize instead of use, commence instead of start, or purchase instead of buy. While these words are not wrong, they can sound unnatural in everyday speech. To sound more natural and confident, it's better to embrace simplicity in your English. In this approach, you'll learn to communicate more effectively with fewer words. Focus on powerful, versatile verbs like get, make, take, go, and come. These are not small or simple words, they are strong and very useful. Using these everyday verbs makes your speech more natural and lively. And you'll discover that you don't need a large vocabulary of fancy words to sound fluent. Native speakers rely heavily on a small set of common verbs. They master these words and use them perfectly. Listening to real conversations, you'll notice these verbs get, make, go, come, give, put, have, do are the driving force behind spoken English. Many learners overlook their importance, thinking these words are too basic or that they need more advanced vocabulary to sound fluent. But this is a misconception. Take the verb get, for example. It's incredibly versatile and powerful. It can mean understand I get it, receive I got a message, become I got tired, or prepare I need to get ready. Instead of learning many separate words for these ideas, native speakers often prefer to simply use get because it's natural, simple, and effective. Learners, however, tend to avoid get and prefer more specific words like understand or receive, which can sound awkward or overly formal in casual speech. Remember, natural conversations often revolve around these common, straightforward verbs. Similarly, the verb make is essential. You can make a decision, make time, or make someone happy. Instead of saying I committed an error, native speakers say I made a mistake. Instead of I earned money, they say I made some money. Make is flexible and widely used, making your speech more fluid. The verb take is another example. You can take a break, take a shower, take a look, or take responsibility. Rather than saying I will rest, native speakers often say I will take a break. Instead of I will examine it, they say I will take a look. Using take adds a relaxed and natural tone to your speech. Words like go and come also follow this pattern. You go to work, go home, or go shopping. Instead of return, native speakers say come back. Instead of enter, they often say come in. These simple verbs are essential parts of everyday conversation. Many learners feel that their English sounds heavy or formal, or that their sentences are too long or complicated. This usually happens because they try to use advanced vocabulary, where simpler words would do a better job. The key is to focus on using clear, straightforward language and mastering these core verbs, which will make your speaking sound more natural and confident. A learner might say, the movie was extremely fascinating and intellectually stimulating. While this sentence is grammatically correct, it sounds formal and a bit unnatural in everyday conversation. A native speaker, on the other hand, would simply say, the movie was really good, or the movie was awesome. These shorter, simpler phrases carry the same positive meaning but sound more natural and human. They reflect how people genuinely communicate in casual settings. This illustrates a key point. Fluent English isn't about sounding academic or fancy. It's about sounding real, like a human. Often, the most powerful way to communicate is through straightforward, simple words. These words resonate because they are how people actually speak, quick, clear, and relatable. Many learners focus too much on learning complex or rare words, thinking this will make their English impressive. They spend a lot of time memorizing long lists of difficult vocabulary. But when it comes to speaking, they freeze or stumble. Their brains aren't used to quickly retrieving or using those advanced words in real-time conversations. In reality, your brain prefers simplicity. It loves quick patterns and familiar words. Simple words like get, make, take, go, and come are easy for the brain to process and use immediately. When you rely on these words, your speech becomes smoother and more confident because you're not overthinking every word. On the other hand, advanced words require more mental effort. They slow you down and can interrupt your flow of speech. This is why native speakers tend to prefer simple words even when they know more complex vocabulary. They prioritize speed and clarity over complexity or elegance. Understanding this, it's important to see that advanced English isn't about using long, complicated words. It's about mastering flexible use of simple words in many different situations. For example, being able to use get in various contexts, receiving, understanding. Becoming is a sign of mastery, or using take, go, and come in different expressions shows a high level of fluency. Now, let's practice this idea. If you want to say that you understand something, instead of saying, I understand, you can say, I get it. Both are correct, but I get it sounds more natural in daily conversation. Similarly, if you want to say you became angry, instead of I became angry, you can simply say, I got angry. Again, both are correct, but I got angry is how native speakers naturally speak. Using simple words regularly boosts your confidence because your brain doesn't have to work as hard. You speak more freely, without panic or hesitation. Native speakers use this approach because it's effective and human. Embracing simplicity in your English helps you connect more naturally and speak with confidence. The sentence in question is incorrect, but it feels heavy and formal. It sounds more like a written review than natural speech. Native speakers tend to use shorter, clearer, and more conversational phrases. For example, instead of a long, complicated statement, they might simply say, the movie was really good. I liked it a lot. This kind of expression is straightforward, easy to say, and sounds natural. When speaking English in a way that's easy to pronounce and understand, you naturally feel more confident. Confidence in turn encourages you to speak more often. The more you practice speaking, the faster you improve. This creates a positive cycle. Using simple language builds your confidence, which leads to more speaking. More speaking then brings you closer to fluency. This cycle is fundamental to mastering spoken English. Many learners unconsciously make a common mistake. They believe repeating words is bad or redundant. Instead of saying I like it twice, they try to replace the second occurrence with a different phrase like I enjoy it, or I find it pleasurable. While this isn't wrong, in everyday conversation, repetition of simple words is entirely natural and helps to express feelings more genuinely. Native speakers frequently repeat words or phrases because it emphasizes emotion and creates connection, not because they lack vocabulary. For example, they might say, it was good, and then follow up with, really good, or I like it. I really like it. These repetitions, especially of simple words, make speech sound more authentic and relatable. Let's consider another example. Instead of a formal phrase like I am experiencing difficulties understanding this concept, native speakers would say, I don't get this, or simply, I don't get it. Both expressions communicate the same idea, but the second one is shorter, more straightforward, and feels more genuine. It highlights how flexible and powerful the word get is in casual language. Similarly, with the verbs make and go, learners often use formal or complex expressions when simple words would suffice. Instead of I reached a decision, a native might say, I made a decision. Instead of I created a mistake, we say I made a mistake. Instead of I generated a lot of noise, you could simply say, I made a lot of noise. The verb make is incredibly versatile and repeatedly used in everyday speech, because it efficiently conveys many different situations. The same applies to take. Rather than saying, I will rest for a short period, native speakers say, I will take a short break. Instead of I will observe it, they say, I will take a look. These examples show how simple words, when used naturally, create realistic, relatable conversations. For instance, I returned home becomes I came home, and the plan failed is expressed as the plan went wrong. To describe someone becoming silent, instead of a formal phrase, a native speaker would say, he went silent or he went quiet. What's important here is that these simple words carry multiple meanings and nuances, making them invaluable tools in everyday speech. This is why learning the core verbs deeply like get, make, take, go, and come is more beneficial than memorizing a vast list of rare or complex words. Mastering these verbs allows you to express a wide range of ideas with clarity and natural flow. As we conclude, it's vital to understand that fluent English is not about using big or complicated words. It's about using simple words skillfully. These core verbs form the heart of real spoken language. The key takeaway is that simplicity promotes confidence, and confidence leads to more speaking. Native speakers choose clarity over complexity because clear, direct communication is more effective than elaborate vocabulary that might confuse or slow you down. The important question now is, how can you incorporate this understanding into your daily English practice? Knowledge alone isn't enough, you need to live it. The first step is changing your mindset. Many learners believe that if their English sounds simple, it isn't good enough. That's a misconception. From now on, think like this. If my English is simple and clear, it's strong. If it's easy to understand, it's fluent. If it sounds natural, it's advanced. This simple shift in how you view your English changes everything. It makes the goal more accessible and less intimidating. To train yourself to use simple English daily, focus on learning not only new words but also common, everyday expressions. For example, instead of only learning the formal word postpone, also learn the casual phrase put off. Instead of discover, practice find out. Instead of enter, use go in. These familiar, simple combinations mirror natural spoken language and help you sound more authentic. Finally, ask yourself, when you speak English, what is your main goal? Is it to impress others or to connect with them? True fluency revolves around connection. Clear ideas and honest speech build trust and understanding more than complex vocabulary ever could. Remember, sometimes less is more. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Keep practicing and remember, by speaking more with fewer complicated words, you can make your communication more effective and genuine. Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and continue unleashing your English potential.